Folks, welcome back to the channel. It's not looking all too pretty today for the crypto market. I have set myself a couple of deadlines and they have not been met, and therefore unfortunately I think I have to turn a little bit more bearish, and I'm going to show you exactly in this video what I'm looking at. So if you like the content, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything, leave me a comment and share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Without further ado, let's start diving in, and we're starting off with ETH. And this is also right away the deadline, what I just said. I said in yesterday's update I want to see a break higher of this macro value area low, that thick blue line. I said I want to see it reclaim that value area low, because if we don't do that and we spend too much time there, it's going to be a retest and then eventually lower. So actually what we're seeing now, and then eventually you're rolling over. What you do want to see is that you can spend some time there. That's okay because it's a macro level, but eventually you want to see that push higher and that reclaim, and it needs to stay there. That buyers are defending the level, but now we're losing it again, and we're making this local small range right here. That in itself is a little bit more bearish because, like I said, buyers are just not able to defend a price, and then eventually you'll see that we're rolling over. Anything can be a trigger. On top of that, we can also see that the 4 hour is starting to look now quite bearish. Let's quickly zoom in on the 1 hour. Then we have had market Cipher B. The RSIs are starting to point together to the downside. Money flow into the red, momentum wave lower, VWAP lower. This is starting to look pretty bearish. Also on the 12 hour you can see that the money flow is already in the red, and it looks like we're getting a curve, and then eventually we're flipping over and that we are getting another move to the downside. The daily is not that far yet, so I have to take that in account. But more and more time frames, as we're spending more time here, are turning slightly more bearish, and that yeah, it's just weakness all over. With that being said, where can we go then? Well, there are a couple of trades that I'm looking at. Let's first look at the positive news here for ETH, because let's be honest, that is the leader of the altcoin market. And that is that, let's say out of nowhere we are getting a pump now, and then I would like to see a reclaim of this level and then a back test. That will be this high right here at approximately 2480. 2480 is a good level, and then I want to see a pop higher and then a back test of this whole area right here, and then eventually to go higher. That would be ideal. And good FU scenario would be if we are going lower, take the liquidity underneath this low and underneath this low, so therefore have an S&P of 2377, and then eventually to go higher. That I would still count as a possible long opportunity, but if that happens, I want to see a immediate buyback here of that area, because the problem is if we are going to lose 2377, there is actually nothing underneath. If I just pull quickly a volume profile, then you can see that we have this whole area right here. Whoops, let me mark it. Whole area right here, there's just zero volume, and that means quick move up also means a quick move down. So then eventually this could also be a short if we are losing the level. So let's say we're doing something like this. It's non-S&P, we're closing an hour or 4 hour candle underneath, and then a backtest could be a short trade, maybe up to the trend line or this value area low, but eventually actually I think we are going to go much lower, and we are going to take out this low right here, where I was actually already hoping on Monday or Tuesday it to be taken out, because that low was made on a Sunday. It looks good though on the chart. Once we made that low, it was also confirmed with bullish divergence, but like I said, it was on a Sunday. I was not trading, a lot of people were not trading, and usually weekend highs or weekend lows are being taken out later on in the trading week. That so far hasn't happened. Is that a golden rule? No, absolutely not. It does not need to happen for price to eventually go higher or lower, but for that price area to be revisited before we're eventually getting a decisive move, that usually is that chance usually is quite high. So here you could see that we had that bullish divergence once we reached that golden pocket. The bad news about this is that it really is going to be a domino effect, because eventually if you're going to lose that level and you're going to retest these lows, if I'm then zooming out again, and I'm just zooming out here in the 6 hour, it doesn't really matter which time frame I'm taking. I just want to make sure that you guys can clearly see it on your screen if you're watching this on your phone, is that we have nothing there. This whole move up was quite fast and was actually excellent, but you want to see continuation. So if we start losing now this low that we made right here at an approximately 2130-ish, 2130 for ETH, then eventually I think you're going to revisit these lows right here where I have that box, and then it becomes actually pretty ugly, but those chances are now getting pretty high since we are not able to reclaim that value area low. So like I said, it really becomes a domino effect. You're losing, or you're not able to hold that value area low. Whoops, that was the wrong button. You're not able to hold that value area low, then eventually you're going lower, maybe something with a back test. Because there is no structure, you're most likely going to visit these lows, and because there is no structure here on the macro, you're most likely are going to visit this area again, and then before you know it, you're looking at an approximately 1800 for ETH. That would be pretty bad and pretty bearish, because like I said, yeah, you're losing just all the structure and all the momentum, and you need quite some power eventually to go up again. But this is for now what I'm looking at. Yeah, I wanted to see that reclaim already much earlier, and not what we're seeing now, that we are spending quite a lot of time here. Let me see, there's already 3 days and 18 hours, so soon it will be 4 days that we're spending here. That actually is not so bullish. The thing that's also against us is that we don't have any triggers coming up, so there's no news, nothing with interest rates, nothing with the Fed, nothing with Trump as far as we know, trade agreements. There's not really a trigger that we're waiting for. And also we are most likely coming now into that quote-unquote summer chopness, summer dull, where just volume is getting lower and you don't really see any clear breakouts for the next couple of weeks, maybe even a sell-off where people are covering their positions. With that being said, if we're then talking about the altcoins anyways, because BTC so far is holding up pretty well, you can still see it here quickly on chart. We're not going to talk about BTC now, but you can see holding up so far in the range pretty well. These, by the way, are a couple of trades that I gave this morning in the Discord. So if you're curious, make sure that you follow us in Discord. It's completely for free. Check out the link in the description. And then actually I wanted to look at this right here. This is the ETH BTC chart. This is also something that I have shared today on the Discord. Again, link is in the description. Is that we don't have to be bullish at all in the immediate short term. I have been talking about some of the altcoins bottoming out, but the absolute green sign, the green flag to say, okay, now we can expect a full-on bull market on the altcoins, is once we start reclaiming some levels. There are two things that I'm looking at. First of all is a key level that I want to see reclaimed. That's 0.02968, 0.02968. That is a key daily high. And if else, I'm having this purple line. I hope it's visible on your screen. It is actually just a trend line, but it kind of looks like a bump and run pattern. So we already have made a low. You can now see that that move up. So far, it's not really a clear structure of higher highs and higher lows. So I would say market structure is still bearish, but then eventually what you're then getting is that you're getting a move out of this, and again the wrong one, excuse me. Then you're getting a move out, and then you're backtesting this purple trend line, and then eventually you go higher. That actually could be a nice mark for altcoins to start rallying, but the best would be to really reclaim some levels and really make sure that you have higher highs and higher lows on a daily time frame where you can say, okay, now market structure for the ETH BTC pair is broken, and now we can expect a run in altcoins, because as you all know, ETH is the king of the altcoins. If that starts running, then we can also expect all the other coins to start moving ahead. And since ETH have been tremendously lacking already for months and months in a row, therefore you also see that yeah, also the altcoins are just constantly grinding lower. It is just actually not a whole lot of fun, and it is a huge difference compared to all the other cycles that we had in the last few years. So this is something for now that I'm really looking at. I want to see these highs to be taken. I preferably would like to see maybe that the bump and run, that is the most early and most aggressive option to then start hammering on altcoins. And eventually, actually, I think the best confirmation would be a reclaim of these highs. And if you wait for that, you're absolutely not too late, because as you can see, if I'm zooming out, we still have a long way to go until we reach those all-time highs. So then you still have a mega bull market ahead of you. But so far I am looking at very locally, and these are the absolute bare minimums that I'm looking at before I am flipping completely bullish towards altcoins. Yes, you can have green days. Yes, you can have pumps up and have a nice move up for a couple days. But as you have seen, that most of these moves are completely being retraced. Even let me see what I was looking at. Well, Mudeng I think is a good example. Here on the macro you can see that we have this falling wedge. We are breaking out, and now already for a couple of days it's just going lower and lower and lower. You can see here the breakout. This thing should have moved already. This breakout here looks amazing, looks really good, and now we're just grinding lower, 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 lower. This actually should have gone already 2-3 days ago. Breakout, quick back test and go. That would be bullish, and a lot of altcoins are looking like this. Just slowly grind lower and again and again and again and again, and eventually making a new lower low. So I am staying cautious, and because ETH has not been able to reclaim that very important value area low, I need to flip my bias a little bit more bearish, and therefore I want to give you a warning. Don't go all in. We also have the summer choppiness ahead of us. Don't expect the world, if it suddenly starts to look better in a week or two, or maybe suddenly in a week because there's a mega trigger that I have overlooked, or there's some news, then it might look different. But for now I would say please stay cautious, definitely when we're going into the weekend. That will be it for now. That will be it for today. If you like the content, please do me a favor by liking, subscribing, clicking the bell, clicking all, so that you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment and share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.